Make sure their cell phones are off. Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the weekly San Jose State football press conference with head coach Mike MacIntyre. Today is Monday, October 10th. It's homecoming week here in San Jose. San Jose State returning home for a Friday night contest against Hawaii. Spartans enter off of a loss at BYU from this past Saturday. They're 2-4 on the year, 1-1 within the Western Athletic Conference. Meanwhile, Hawaii is coming in off of a bye. Hawaii is 3-2 and 1-0 within the WAC. A couple of reminders for everyone. This Wednesday, we'll be recording the Mike MacIntyre Show in downtown San Jose over at Original Joe's. Be sure to stop by if you can. From noon to 1, we record the show, and it airs on 1590 KLIV from 8 to 9 p.m. And also, this weekend's game is actually on a Friday, so a unique day and time for the game. It's Friday, October 14th. Again, it is the homecoming game. Tickets are still available. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. The game will be on KLIV 1590 AM and also televised on ESPN nationally. Right now, we'll bring in the head coach, Mike MacIntyre.
Good afternoon. Just going back briefly over the BYU game, I thought it was definitely a game I was very disappointed the way we came out and played in the first half. And then in the second half, had our opportunities to get back in it, just to play here or there, and it was right there for our taking. So I know that we'll put back-to-back good halves together this week, and we're excited about playing Hawaii. I think they're an excellent football team. Their quarterback is just a great player, and I call him little Houdini. He makes all kind of plays and does a great job. And defensively, I think they're playing really, really well. I think their defense gets overlooked on how well they're playing and the plays they make. So we'll be excited about playing them Friday night here for homecoming. Should be a great atmosphere, and a national televised game for our team and our school is a big deal for us. So I'll take any questions.
Mike, can you talk further about Hawaii's pass attack and what challenges that presents to your secondary? Or been a little banged up using drivers?
Yeah, that's their passing attack is excellent. Of course, it's a mixture of what June Jones did. He's taken on to SMU, and Moniz does a great job of actually has such a quick release and is able to kind of slide step the blockers and make accurate passes. I think they're very good. Royce Pollard is their big-time receiver. He plays an X receiver for him, and when he's isolated one-on-one, he gives people havoc. I think I'm very impressed with how they do it. And they do a good job of protecting the quarterback when they play with four wides all the time. Their running back is a big young man, Joey Iosafa, and he is 6 foot, 240 pounds. He's actually like an extra guard back there blocking wise. So they do a very, very good job. He's also a good runner, but he can protect the quarterback. They give you a lot of one-on-one type situations where their quickness, kind of basketball on grass, so to speak, get the ball out quick, let those guys run. They're very, very quick and very elusive. The dimension they've added to their offense compared to me last year is they're doing a little bit more option, doing more speed option, a little bit more zone read option, and the quarterback's been running some. And I think that's the first game of the year he had, I think, 150 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns, and so that's another dimension that you didn't have to worry about before that you have to worry about now.
Schematically, do they sort of force you to do things differently with four wides all the time?
Yeah, schematically they force you to, you're playing more of a wide open type defense, wide open type offense, kind of a nickel package type situation. So you're in space a lot more, and they get rid of the ball so quick that he doesn't get hit a whole lot. But you got to put pressure on him. If he can stand back there and do it, then he'll tear you apart like a hot knife through butter, so to speak.
So this is a real challenge for your secondary.
Yes, it's a great challenge for our secondary, but it's also a great challenge for our front to be able to put pressure, get hands in his face, close down his passing lanes, and kind of make it uncomfortable for him. Yes.
You made it clear you were very disappointed with defense in the first half. Can you talk about what you told defense at halftime?
No, not really.
Can you comment on that?
But we talked. I did talk to him about I did tell him I was disappointed with him and a few other things. But it was, I just felt like they were not playing like they could play. I think they were playing to think that, BYU should be moving the ball on us, or that type of effect. And then I thought there was no doubt in my mind that we could stop them, and that we should be winning the football game.
So can you comment on their play in the second half?
Yeah, I thought they came out in the second half and played extremely hard, played with more emotion. We settled into what they were doing a little bit. They changed up a little bit, but we figured they would. But it was things that we had seen before, as far as other games. They did a couple things they'd never shown before at all, but other teams had done it, and we practiced against every scenario you can practice against, and we know how to line up against everything. And that kind of threw us off there for a minute. But in the second half, we played really hard. We were 1 or 2 plays away. We, blitz and barely miss a tackle in the backfield, and they let him kick a field goal. We have a couple interceptions that hit us right in the hands, and we dropped. We picked those off and running in. The kids were playing extremely hard. It's just the way the ball goes. The ball bounces sometimes. But if we grab those and do those plays, it's a different story even now.
Do you expect a heightened intensity Friday night with the team on national television?
I guess that gives them a little bit more hype, so to speak, a little bit more pop and circumstance. But I expect the intensity to be the same if we weren't on national television or not. But I know they'll be excited about playing on that for sure.
Mike, you had Brandon out there in a black jersey today, but he was out there a little bit. You expect it to be almost a game day decision?
Yeah, it's going to be close to a game day decision again, but it's good. He wasn't able to do that last week, so it's definitely a step in the positive direction, and hopefully that he'll be able to go Saturday. We definitely need him to go. He's a big part of our football team, not only on the field, but just as an inspirational leader too when he's out there playing.
Tyler was getting some reps with the first team, it looked like at times today, splitting it a little bit. Tyler Urban.
We did that some last week too, because in the game, we rotated them in all the time, different things that they were good at. And as Tyler gets more and more used to the offense, more and more used to the play calling and protections and stuff like that, then he can even be out there more than he was, and that's what we hope he is.
Is the protections for a young running back, is that the biggest thing, being able to pick up the rush to protect the
quarterback? Yeah, it is. All the different protections and the different looks, and Hawaii gives you a bunch of different looks. Because if he goes the wrong way one time, the quarterback gets hit in the back, so it's important that he understands that. He's a very bright young man. He's picking it up pretty quick, but just throwing it in there the other night, having to do all of that would have been hard. And like I told him, I called the 3 running backs up that took his spot, that took Brandon's spot in front of the whole team. I thought they did a good job the other night. They gave us an opportunity to have a chance to win the game by their play. I mean, it wasn't just totally we're totally inept. I mean, they gave us a chance to have a chance to win. So I was pleased with what those young men did, stepping up and doing that, and how they were prepared on the sidelines to go in and out, and it didn't bother them, and they did a good job.
You recruited Irvin as sort of an athlete.
Yes.
What were you thinking? Were you thinking he'd play defense first for you?
Well, I was thinking that he would probably be a defensive player and be a return specialist just because of his size, and I knew he could do both. Now, I thought he could play tailback, and I definitely still think he can play tailback. And I think it just depends on how his body keeps growing and how he goes from there. But I definitely, the other thing that I noticed the other night against a very good defense and a bunch of big men is he has a way of slithering and not taking a hit. And it's not that he's shying away. He's running hard. He just has some guys just can't get hit hard. And he has the ability to do that. And that's would keep him stature-wise from being able to probably be able to stay healthy. And so I was very impressed with that. And he's just as fast on that field as he was on our practice field. I mean, he looked fast, and he is fast. We call him crazy legs the way he runs right now.
Is he really 170 pounds, or you think that's on his good days?
Yeah, with his helmet and pads on.
Ryan had a great game once again. He's really come into his own as a tight end. Talk about that a little more.
Well, I think that the good thing about Ryan Otten is he stayed healthy. Every game that he's played that he's been healthy, he's played really well, including last year, the 4 games he played that he was healthy. The rest of the time he was hurt. So I think he's a very good football player. He's starting to do a lot of other things good too in the run game, and he's getting bigger and stronger. And the future is unlimited for him, I believe. And so if he just keeps working hard, he'll keep making plays. And I think some more and more teams are going to try to start taking advantage of him a little bit But as long as we can run some, and we've got those wideouts out there catching the ball, and they're hard to cover, I mean, he's going to have to be on a safety or a linebacker, and it's a mismatch. And we'll keep finding him. And he's a really good player.
Has your run game made life a lot easier for him?
Yes.
When they cheat up a little bit?
No doubt.
The middle of that field gets kind of open.
Yeah, no doubt it's made it better for him. And then our ability to get the ball in our hands quick, and Noel and Chandler and everyone, Jabari making quick catches and running. You got to have extra eyes there. So it's made a big difference. And he's a very good football player.
He says that Ryan says that the wide receivers tease him because he's so slow, but he says, look at the yards per catch, and he says I can get even with him.
Yeah. He's not slow for a tight end. He's a big target. He runs well. They just tease him because every once in a while he's gotten walked down a little bit, but his yards per catch is very, very good. And I think he can keep telling him that. That's a good point. He should. Yes.
Coach, what is the status of Marcus Howard?
Marcus Howard, he had a pin in his hand, and then he got it out, and now he's getting back practicing a little bit. We're just seeing where he is getting in shape-wise, and he'll probably be able to start playing here pretty soon if he keeps coming along like he is.
Is Fred Coloto unlikely to play this week?
No, he ran pretty well out there today. We just didn't have him do any physical activity, and we'll see how he responds tomorrow after doing all the activity he did on today to see if there's, if swelling and stuff comes back, and that'll set you back. Hopefully it doesn't, and now he can keep progressing. And
He was just in T-shirt.
yes, he was in T-shirt, but he did quite a bit of running, and he looked a lot smoother running than he did last week for sure.
Could you talk about how you think your defense has played overall so far? Do you expect them to be better than they've been?
Oh yeah, I expect them to be a lot better than they've been. I expect us to be a lot better than they've been.
This weekend is a fairly substantial challenge.
Yeah, it's a different challenge as far as it's more of it's basketball on grass is what it is really, and so it's a different challenge for us. But I think that we're definitely talented enough and good enough to take advantage of it. We've had the Colorado State game. We started out like firecrackers, and then we gave up a couple of deep balls, that would really hurt us. And then last week we just didn't play good at the beginning of the game. We just didn't tackle well. We misaligned some, and to me that was all in a mental state, which I didn't really understand. And then they kicked it into gear, and it was a whole different second half. And besides that little bit there at the end where they got a few yards there at the end, I mean, they had like 100 yards offense in one half. And that's what I expect out of them. I really do. I expect they could do that in some games. Now, people are going to gain yards, and they're going to score some points. I understand that. But I think we have enough good players over there to win some games just defensively, like we almost did in the Nevada. I think we should have won that game, and I think we should do that. I think there should be some games if we're not able to move the ball on offense or do something that it's a 14-13, 17. I think we're good enough to do that. And the last few games, we've had to make some stops to win it, but it wasn't a defensive win. And I think we're good enough on defense, talent-wise, to do that. So it's my job to get us there, and we'll
Have you
play much better.
identified why it's not been better?
No, I think that. Well, I mean, Colorado State hadn't been throwing the ball well, and then they did a few double move things that they did that made some big plays on us that we misaligned, and that's part of it. And then Saturday the first half, they came out and did some sprint out and some roll outs, and they lined up in 3 formations they've never shown before. And so our kids kind of were on their heels a little bit, and he made a play or two. We shouldn't have been on our heels as much, but then once we got used to that, I think we filled in and played well. I would like us to play better and make some more plays.
Take it this week, you're going to have to play better than you played.
We're going to play the best we played all year. And we're going to have to be better in the secondary than we've been. We're going to have to be better at pass rushing than we've been. And I think we will, because it's kind of a one-dimensional game, so you know what you're going to have to do. So I think that it allows you to do that. Now, with their speed option added in and the types of things they're doing there, it does change it a little bit. But you're more of a pass rush mode, you're more of a cover mode. And we've got to be more aggressive in our coverage. We've got to play tighter coverage. We haven't played as tight a coverage as I would like. And we need to play tighter coverage, or they'll just pitch and catch. Now, they're going to make some throws. They're going to throw it 65 times. So, I mean, they're going to make some completions, but you have to be tight, get them down, no big plays after you run. and then rally back as you go. And then we need to we caused 3 interceptions last year. We need to do that or more. So that's what our goal is to try to do.
One positive from the game as well, you guys were penalty free. Talk about that a little bit in a hostile environment like BYU.
Yeah, we were penalty free, and I think that's excellent. And the week before, I think we had 1 penalty. So our kids are listening and working and trying to be attentive and doing the things right, which shows you very good discipline there. There's some games that you're going to have some calls that are judgmental calls, interferences, late hits. They're kind of in that vague area. But as far as jumping off sides and holding and lining wrong and substitution problems, we're not having that. And to me, that shows you that they are focused and our coaching staff's doing a good job coaching. So I'm pleased with that.
Coming off 2 road games, are the guys excited to come back with the homecoming?
Oh yeah, they're really excited about coming home. They don't want to get on another plane for a little while. And so they are excited about coming home and playing. And the last 2 places we played were really good atmospheres, and we look for a great atmosphere here Saturday night for our homecoming game. And I know that it's an exciting time for our kids, really exciting.
Mike, can you talk about chance to see Dick Tomey when he comes in with?
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Coach Tomey. I know some of our kids will too, and a couple of the guys on our staff. I've known him for a long, long time. So I know it'd be fun for Coach Tomey to be back, and I know it'd be different for him being on the other side in the visiting locker room. I think that'd be kind of weird for him, but it'd be good to see him. Yes.
Do you feel like he helped set up a little bit of a foundation for what you guys are adding on?
Oh yeah, Coach Tomey did a great job here. He came in and turned around, and went to the bowl game and did super there, and kept everything going. I think the world of him. He's really well thought of in our coaching realm, and he was the AFCA president, and he's a phenomenal coach and a phenomenal person. And it was interesting to see that he went back into coaching, and I guess his wife got tired of him being home every day. She said, "You need to go back to practice." And so I think Greg and Mac and him are really good friends. He said, "Why don't you come over and do this?" So I think it gets him out of the house a little bit more. So, but I know he's a great coach, a great man, and I know he'll be excited about being here for the game, and our kids will be excited about seeing him.
Mike, Brandon Driver's absence, does that ripple through the entire defense in terms of making up for him not being there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Brandon Driver was an excellent corner that, he was you didn't have to worry about him over there. Kind of a shutdown kind of guy in the boundary. We press him up a lot, leave him. And, this week that's a concern for us because we'll be in there one-on-one some of what you have to do with their best receiver. And, the guys stepping in, I believe they can do it. But when he was there, you really didn't have to think about it. They might get him every once in a while, but I mean, it was basically they needed to try to throw over there some. And so he was a guy that we definitely sorely miss. And also, he's just a great leader on the team, and being a senior, and he was playing really well. And he also, he also backed up in a lot of roles. Punt returner, kick returner, all those places, and then when we lost Rutt and we lost him, you're kind of going really to your third guy, and they all did well, but that's another area. I mean, he took a kickoff back, 88 yards last year, and took some other ones back and can return punts. So kind of we lost another return type guy there too that would have made some plays.
Coach, can you comment about the consistency Jens has brought to the kicking game?
Oh yeah, Jens has done really well. It's exciting to see him kick it. And the 3 he kicked the other night, and he did a really good job. Our snapper's been doing better this year too, Ben Zorn, and our Holden Evan Taylor's done a really good job. So that whole timing and everything is a lot better. But it's exciting to feel very, very comfortable with Jens kicking those field goals and extra points, and excited about see how he does the rest of the year. He keeps you loose over there, which is good. When the kicker's loose, that's good. So he does a good job. Yes.
Coach, are you planning on leaving Tyler Irvin on offense now?
Yeah, for the rest of the year, we're leaving him on offense. Yes, and we'll see how spring goes, and we'll see how recruiting and how we've got a transfer running back in that's pretty good, and we'll just have to see how David Freeman's arm comes back, and just kind of go all that. But definitely for the rest of the season, he'll be playing tailback.
I have one more question.
Because he's a good enough athlete that next year, if we move him back to defense, he can start at corner. So if he can play a ton and be like a starter at tailback, then I'll keep him there. If he's going to end up being third team or fourth team, then I'll play him at tailback and playing sparing, playing at the corner, and then playing sparing at tailback. So if he gets people hurt, we can move him back over. So he'll so I just got to see how spring goes. But for the rest of this year, no, he's playing tailback.
I'm asking this question now for a reporter who can't be here. You had an unusually long chat with Coach
Coach Bronco Mendenhall?
Yeah, recommend. And after the game, at halftime, he wanted to know what you were talking about.
After the game?
Yeah.
No, I just really respected him and what he's doing with that program, and he was telling me some things about our team that he respected, and I just like the type of person he is and the way their kids handle themselves, and I thought they played hard, and that's basically all we talked about. So. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks again everyone for attending, and thank you to our viewers online. Again, this Friday night, 6 o'clock kickoff over at Spartan Stadium at San Jose State's homecoming game. Tickets are still available. Thanks again, everyone.